distractions. And in my case, my intention for this call is to briefly run through the news and stuff from this week. I haven't updated the agenda today. I will update it probably after the call. But yeah, so the intention for this call is to, as usual, stay on the same page with everyone, and to also have an update on the hatches and how it has been the onboarding of ourselves with Ham and Jake, and the steps that we are taking forward. And then my distraction, none, probably the cat that goes around. But besides that, everything's good. I will pass it on to Juan.
Yes, my intention is to catch up with the onboarding. I am also interested in the onboarding hatchers. That is really interesting. And my distraction is that I am polishing the slides for tomorrow's Graviton session, and I'm like reviewing it. And I will pass to Seth.
Thank you, Juan. My intention for the call is to think with you guys, and I don't have distractions. I'll pass it to Tam.
Hey, so my intentions are to see how we're doing in terms of onboarding hatchers and onboarding projects, to see what our next targets are, and to hear from everyone else in this group. And my distraction is I'm building the agenda now, so please do jump in the agenda and help me build it so that we just have a list of what we'll be doing today and some notes from our meeting. And other than that, I have no other distractions. So I'll pass to Jake.
Where can I find the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, in the calendar.
Hi, everybody. My intentions are, catch people up to speed on what's been going on. We have been having a great time onboarding. It's been a lot of, whoa, what was that? Oh shit, something blew up. Okay, anyways, besides distractions, I don't know, something went on in the village. That was really loud. Catch everybody up on onboarding. It's been great. And questions, distractions, nothing unless the whole place is burning down. That was really loud. Did you guys hear that through yours?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Where you said village, Jake? Where are you?
I'm in Costa Rica at the Mountain Village retreat.
Nice.
All right. I hope everything is well. I mean, take 5 minutes, Jake, to check that everything is okay on your house.
Aliens have landed.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the jungle. Anything can happen. So, anyways, can start. So it's a very simple meeting today. We are basically tweaking certain processes of the onboarding group, and to give also an exercise to look at onboarding ourselves, also reflected on how people that are part of the community sometimes don't know about this working group or don't know about certain things. So we did a little exercise with Metaverde this Sunday, where we onboarded her officially in a way. We walked through her doubts, walked through what were her needs, and just to sort of, simple, basic human empathy, and to just relate to each other and to know more about each other. Since she's working a lot with us and with other working groups, I think that was due to do. And then that eventually led to a call we had an hour and a half ago at 4 p.m. European Central Time, where we had sort of a welcome to the TEC AMA call with Libby. That she fostered a call. Praise to her for that. And we did it with Ivy at the beginning. So Ivy had some doubts regarding difference in between Garden Swarm and why Garden Swarm is there and why it's irrelevant for us and so on. So we walked through these doubts that IEV had, and with Griff and Livy and someone else who was there. And then we solved these questions, and then we decided that it was a good exercise to probably have the same call every Wednesday before the onboarding working group, to have questions solved from the community. Hello, decentralized CTGS. So we schedule it for every Wednesday, so we can have questions solved. We can welcome in people who are new, and we can centralize people and send them there. If they, like, you're new and you jump right into working and you have doubts, okay, pass by on Wednesday and we will try to attend and walk you through whatever doubts you may have. So that was fun to do with Ivy, because she has been working with us quite a lot for the past weeks. Yet she had some questions that were that you will think that someone should have answered before. So that was an interesting exercise of looking at it and walk that through. So the next step regarding that is to basically add this link to the Google Calendar invite for this call on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. to people who are new, or people who get in some way into the TEC, so they get onboarded by the community itself. So that matter, that was fun. Then continuing with these processes of onboarding, we also started the onboarding of ourselves. Tam and Jake were leading those calls. They onboarded me on Friday, and it was fun. It was interesting because it was an exercise for the three of us, I think. I don't know, Tam, what were your feedback on
it? So it's super interesting because since we've started onboarding people that are active in TEC and CS, it's a different kind of conversation than people who really want to know more about the project. And the people that are already active have really detailed questions and a lot of really good feedback. So I found it quite useful in terms of thinking, in terms of like having questions that other people will have to ask. And I think Jake and I might be starting an FAQ with some of the more common questions that everyone asks, since it'll be relevant to everybody. To that point, I also want to, we'll also continue to onboard more people, but it's a little slow going. So we're thinking about if we can maybe structure a group call where we, onboard a group at a time instead of the one-on-ones. And just in terms of like scheduling, especially my time, although Jake can handle all of the EST and PST time zones, those hours for me in CET are pretty much booked, so I don't have a lot of time slots there.
I would just like to jump in too, given with like Tam just brought up, we've had really great questions, but we've also had reoccurring questions. And it would be awesome, if we could have a few in a group at a time. It'd just be a lot better. It'd be a lot smoother.
Yes, that's correct. And we also onboarded, we should share these frequently asked questions. I think probably it will be really useful from the internal onboarding to have it, have that document ready, Tam, that you mentioned, for the onboarding of the next batch of hatchers that are not ourselves. So we will have these questions in the same TEC create or part of the document in the GitHub issue that goes to hatchers, so everyone can have that kind of questions answered there. So if someone have further question, we just send them to the link. We also, with Jake, we onboarded Sam, right? Jake?
We did Sam.
Yeah, his nickname always, it's hard for me to pronounce it. And it was really nice. It was really fast and quick in his questions. it was really nice because it was a call to also catch up in a way through the call. So it was nice. He had questions regarding legal, and there was one question in particular that was quite interesting that I haven't heard from any other hatcher asked, which was if the Swiss association fee was yearly or it was a one-time payment. And that's a question that I will pass it on to Griff to know the answer of.
So there's no obligation to pay it every year. You can choose to not, but it is a once a year payment, or like it gives you membership till March 31st. And then the association might lower the cost, they might raise it. It's really up to the association to figure out what they want to do with the next year payment. But okay. You pay it once, and there's no obligation to pay it again if you don't feel like you want to.
But it is manually charged next year, or it's automatically charged?
Definitely, there's no. I mean, it's crypto, so you hold your keys. So there's no. It's not like a credit card. So they pay once, and then like if they want to pay again, they can. If not, they lose their legal protection. But they're still in the DAOs that they got into. I mean, it's okay. But it is a. We will contact them at the beginning of next year to see if we're doing a good job, and if we are, they can pay us again. If not, they don't have to. So it's a one-time fee. There's no obligation to pay again, but we will ask again. And if they don't pay by March 31st next year, they lose the legal protection that we offer.
Okay. There is no other consequence besides losing the legal protection.
Nope. In the end, you have the tokens that you have. I mean, your C-Stack tokens will be burned, but even if you decide to pay later, you'll get all those C-Stack tokens back.
All right. Yeah, I felt it was a really good question from him because no one had asked that before. So we can add that to the frequent asked questions to that list. Then did you, Tam and Jake, onboarded someone else besides me and Seb? How did that go?
Yeah, this morning, earlier today, not this morning, we had some time with Livia, and we onboarded Livia, and it's a really good meeting. It was less of an onboarding and a little bit of like a role playing and onboarding. So she took the perspective of somebody who was really new and had a lot of questions, and then we also took time to brainstorm on some answers to questions too. The one question that came up that I think we had, that I found to be a little tricky to answer, I didn't have the answer right away. It was about after a hatcher joins the Swiss membership and becomes a Swiss member, and they have CSDK, they have a CSDK score at that time. Then there will be a period where we launch the Dandelion DAO. And between that period and the launching of the bonding curve, where we'll launch TEC tokens, what is the measurement that we're using for governance? And I think we arrived at it's a TEC hatch token, which will be sort of an interim token between the Dandelion DAO launch and the minting from the bonding curve. But I'd look to, yeah, is that correct, Griff?
It's funny. I'm like the single source of truth. That's really too bad. I'm sorry for failing you guys on this. Yes, that is absolutely correct. There are tech tokens, TECH. So the governance process, right? And this is something that we work with Jake and YGG and Sam a little bit on. Is first, people with impact hour tokens and C-Stack tokens will have the power to decide the hatch parameters, right? And then once the TEC hatch DAO exists, after the hatch, like the hatch is the fundraising portion, and then after the hatch period is over, then you have a DAO, and this is the TEC hatch DAO. And so people will have TECH tokens, Token Engineering Commons hatch tokens, right? And that DAO will use the same process with token log and stuff to decide the parameters of the commons upgrade. So I'm dropping all these names, right? So there's the hatch, which is the fundraising period, the TEC hatch DAO, which is this in-between period between the hatch and the commons upgrade, and then the commons upgrade, which is where the TEC hatch DAO hatches again into a full-fledged commons with a bonding curve and conviction voting. And the people with tech tokens, TECH tokens, they will decide what these parameters are by using token log and their tokens. CStack tokens and impact hour tokens will disappear. Well, impact hour tokens might continue to exist, but they will lose their governance rights, and it'll be all about TECH tokens, the tech DAO tokens, TEC hatch DAO tokens. Does that make sense?
Tam, that's all the question.
It does. I'll take it. It does. I think I will take a crack at putting that down into words for the FAQ and then run it by everyone again.
There is a blog post. There are forum posts that describes the hatch parameters decision making process, but there isn't one yet for the commons upgrade. So that forum post is in the works.
Yeah, I think that kind of content will be so nice to have it visual. It will be so much easier to understand, probably. Livy, you were going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I think just rephrasing in my mind to see if I fully understand. So people will join, people who have a CStack score and impact hours will receive TECH tokens, and they will use these tokens to vote on the Dandelion DAO about the commons upgrade.
There's a missing piece. So the people with CStack tokens and impact hours, they will get to vote using token log to design the hatch. And then once the hatch is designed and launched, then people with CStack tokens will be able to send money to the hatch. And that will create TECH tokens. And people with impact hours, when the hatch is over, if it reaches its minimum goal, they will get free TEC hatch tokens. Right? So CStack token holders, they need to send money to the hatch. But the impact hour people, they don't need to send money. They can, because they also have CStack tokens. They wear a couple of hats. But only if the hatch reaches its minimum goal do TECH tokens exist, and then the TECH tokens get to vote on the commons upgrade.
So the upgrade is going to happen off chain, just with token log.
Yeah, well, so the decision on which one to choose will happen with token log, which is kind of off chain. It's like Snapshot, and then. But it will need to be ratified on chain, because there will be the DAO will need to say yes, and it'll need to there'll be a crazy smart contract thing where it's but it'll happen on the final ratification. There'll be two votes basically, the sorting vote where they pick the favorite parameters, and the last vote that ratifies it.
Quick question, Griff. Does everyone have you check that the people who has been onboarded as a hatcher know this part of the upgrade, they are aware of this part, or this is something that we assume they knew, or we in the explanation it's just obvious?
It really depends on the person. So when I talk to some of the people, I'm able to say it in a couple sentences and they know what I'm talking about, because they're already have studied bonding curves and conviction voting, right? Like SEM, you don't have to explain it, SEM. But other people, like I talked to James Duncan today a little bit about it, and he was like, I had to explain the whole thing, and talk about launching in 2 parts, but he understands what a Mullic DAO is. So I don't have to explain that. I can say, oh yeah, Mullic DAO. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then I have to explain the Commons upgrade piece and how the people who send money to the hatch will be able to decide about the Commons upgrade, be able to rage quit before. But usually I can do it in like a minute. The advantage I have is I kind of know most of the people I'm talking to, so I know what their background is. And sometimes if you don't know them, you don't know what you have to explain.
All right, can I pop in? I will just say too, this is the first one. So it seems really like there is a lot of pieces, but once this goes, you'll see it's a lot smoother than it sounds. Like it will show itself. I don't really think it'll be this complicated once it's working. For you to for other people to see, I think once all the pieces are moving and it's going, they'll follow along better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Like, I completely trust that. My sort of my wish is that everyone on this call also gets clear of what he just explained. Like, there's something that I want to make sure that everyone here it's clear and understand what he explained. And if you have any doubt, like just the one that Livia or Tam were explaining, just bring it up. If he needs another session, we can book another session. Probably the AMA we do every Wednesday. But for me, I think that one of the underlying missions of the onboarding working group is that everyone have the same kind of information that they need in order to understand what they are doing. Because sometimes I feel that's not happening. So I think this exercise of onboarding ourselves helps to that. And it's a very clever idea to have onboarded ourselves, because we can come up with these questions and understand the process from within, in a way. So Tam and Jake, have you onboarded someone else besides Livia and I? And Sam?
I have not.
Perfect. I got Lorenzo Guif to be onboarded as a hatcher. We will book with him a meeting, and he will propose also as a cash hub. So that could be interesting for them to submit a proposal, for us to submit a proposal.
Sorry to interrupt. We also onboarded Santi.
True. Good job. I forgot already.
Me too. It was their first one.
So am I onboarded?
Not yet. Let's say the onboarding of a hatcher is a different process. So we can schedule with you, Metaverde, a meeting and walk through you the process and try to onboard you as a hatcher if you feel like. Who else is in the list? Like, is everyone here on this call booked for be onboarded, or is someone else who is missed besides Metaverde?
For myself, I sent Griff a soft commitment, but I didn't did any color or anything. I don't know if that's needed.
That's a good question. I don't think it's needed. Clearly, I don't think it's needed since you already sent yourself the soft commitment. Then who else? Juan?
I am scheduling with Tam and Jake for this Friday, but I had a question, and I don't know if it's 9 p.m. CET or 8 p.m. CET.
Well, I was waiting to hear back. We were still figuring out scheduling, so there wasn't a set time yet.
Yeah, let's do that offline. I think we're confusing some scopes here, and this happens in onboarding almost every week, which is the scope of onboarding new members into the community versus the scope of onboarding hatchers and onboarding proposals. So to Metaverse's question of whether you're onboarded or not, in the community, it maybe not. You know, we're still doing our community onboarding process. Probably you are. You've jumped into a lot of things and you're in a lot of the meetings. But for onboarding hatchers, the objective is to ensure that anybody who is in our community and wants to participate in the hatch of the TEC understands what that process is, and somebody is available to answer any questions that you have about the objectives of TEC or the process to join the Swiss Association, which is a part of Common Stack. And that at the end, we sort of have an idea, make sure that you understand the process and have an idea of a soft commitment for what you might be interested in terms of the fundraising for the TEC hatch. And then onboarding proposals is, sorry, I see that you started and there was a bit of a lag.
I'm really sorry. Hold on just a second.
Oh, you're talking to someone else. Okay. And then in terms of onboarding.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And then in terms of, I saw your mouth moving. I thought it was just a lag. And then in terms of onboarding proposals, it's talking to developers or researchers or educators, any projects that might want to ask the TEC for funding, and doing the same thing with them, making sure that they understand the process. Okay, so I think this comes up.
I'm really sorry. I'm very sorry. It's one of my housemates is bugging me about my pillows. It's just I need an office.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm asking about onboarding as a hatcher.
Okay.
And I was really confused because I thought that's what the meeting with Eduardo was. And then I thought that it didn't go the direction I thought a hatcher meeting would go. So I enjoyed talking with you, Eduardo. I just didn't understand what it was.
Okay. Well, that's good feedback, actually. Yeah, that's good feedback too. I think one of the things that came up in our conversation with Livia today is, one of the goals of our speaking with hatchers is to have an idea around what we can have as a soft expectation for the minimum raise parameter. So we do ask every hatcher, and ourselves included, to give a soft commit for what their range is financially to participate in the fundraising for the TEC hatch. And we were talking about it with Jake, and I had the conversation because he onboarded me, and I was working through what I thought my soft commit would be based on my budget and my family situation and my expectations and my risk reward parameters that I live by. And when we were talking about it with Livia, it was also, we realized that asking for soft commits is maybe the hardest part of the onboarding because money can be sort of a sensitive question, but it's important for us to sort of have an estimate for where a minimum hatch raise might be.
So when I asked about this before, I was told that there wasn't really a minimum to commit to. I was confused about that then.
No, there's no minimum. Not for the TEC hatch, there's no minimum.
And
so
then
there's no minimum for an individual, but there is a minimum for the hatch. So if the whole hatch doesn't rate, if the minimum ends up being like $500,000, right? Then if we don't collect at least $500,000, then everyone gets their money back, and it doesn't happen. That's the minimum that exists. But every individual could just put in one dime.
But there's not a maximum number of people that you can get into the hatch.
There technically is. It's the only people with C-Stack token holders can get it. Only people with C-Stack tokens.
Okay, so I don't have any C-Stack tokens. When I did the application, was I accepted into C-Stack? Is there something I need to be doing with them? That was actually really confusing to me.
Yeah, so this is a great question. Actually, you probably do have C-Stack tokens. I mean, I can look really quick.
Okay.
Because if you earn praise, everybody who gets praised gets C-Stack.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a delay. We do the praise once a month. So like all the C-Stack tokens that you earned for January haven't been determined yet. So we'll do that. I think we do that. We're doing that scheduled on Friday, I think. I can't remember. And then we will do, and then we come up with a list of, we quantify praise, just like you did for the TEC, but the Common Stack Association quantify. And then we give out C-Stack tokens to everyone who earned praise, or anyone who joins the legal association and contributes membership dues, that will also earn C-Stack tokens.
So the joining the legal association and contributing membership dues, is that the 450 DAI?
Yeah, and you can apply for a scholarship, so you don't have to pay for it. Can be completely free and just be. If you're a contributor, like you've praised, basically everyone in this call could apply for a scholarship and not have to pay any membership dues. There is a legal requirement that people pay dues, right? We have to have this, like, you give something and then we give you legal authority, right? But we can give you the money to pay it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I misguided Metaverde most likely with the call that we had, because we did talk about the scholarship, but we didn't talk about self-commitments and so on. So there was probably the confusion, because I did ask Griff afterwards the call about the scholarship. So it was a confusion there. So we can, Metaverde, if you want to be onboarded officially as a Hatcher, we can schedule a call, and that can be done in a better way. By the way, Shui and Decentralized, if you have any doubts, you can participate at any moment, because I see you there. So you're welcome to join the conversation if you feel like, or if you have any doubts. So regarding that, we send a message to the channels asking for people who were interested on proposing for the Common Stack the Common Stack channels in Telegram, and we got one answer. So that was quite fun. A guy, I don't know his name. He sent us a message asking and basically saying, I saw your post about support for OS token projects. We are building a system that enables farmers in India to connect directly with consumers without the need of sophisticated tech. So I scheduled a talk to him. We're trying to book a calendar day for him. So I think this is something we should do more often, to just like put out there that we are open for proposals and so on. So people are willing to ask, or just pop out the question of, can we apply? Are we or not? And so on. So that could be interesting. Besides that, moving on to Hatchers. Griff, how is it going with the Hatchers that are not the ones of ourselves?
So the overall picture is bright. We raised the total soft commits is almost at $130,000, $128,800. So that's really good. There's of course a power law distribution. There's a few people that are soft committing somewhere between like $20,000 and $40,000, and there's most people are soft committing closer to like, $5,000 to $500, and that's where the bulk of the humans are. I'd say it's pretty good. I have a few scheduled, but nothing. I made a lot of Twitter messages, or not Twitter, Telegram messages today to get some people, but they're not quite on the schedule. So it's going okay. That's what I'd say. But the soft commits.
All right. And, is there anyone?
I want to say there's been a lot of productive, like I've been asking, hey, who are these secret token engineers? And if you check out the scripts document, there's a long list of token engineers that we really need to go out for and try to get.
But they are not acquaintances of yours. They are
No.
strangers.
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. Then we can actually start sending messages out to these people, right?
Yeah, and I've had a lot of success with this idea of making the token engineering commons into something like an engineering association. So like the IEEE is a or a professional engineering associations. Like each branch of engineering kind of has an international body that like, you know, certify professionals and give recommendations for textbooks, and becomes like a Schelling point for what is truly chemical engineering or what is truly electrical engineering. And that has hit home really well, actually, at least to the token engineering people, because most of them come from some engineering branch and they know what, oh yeah, IEEE for electrical engineers. Everyone knows it. They certify all these things. They're a Schelling point for what is the authority. It's like any kind of federal body that is like the FDA that approves these things, you know. That's been a good meme.
Right. So basically, I'm just going back a little bit. This list, it's on the script of the onboarding hatcher strategy, right?
Yeah.
And they are at the bottom, or because I don't. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of people. Perfect. Have you checked which one have you contacted, or all of these are unchecked, uncontacted yet?
Pretty sure all of them are uncontacted.
Perfect.
I will update the curator sheet.
No, but I really like because you put reference like you put reference of where they come from or so on. So that's really helpful because a lot of people will ask like, how do you reach me out, or like, how do you get here?
Yeah, some of them might just be first names. If there's something that's like, oh, like this guy's from Arweave, or oh, this guy's from Satis or whatever, that probably means that I don't.
And they are
if I just put JRAT, probably means they're one of my friends.
All right. And these people are not in the trusted seat.
They probably are not. And that's one of those things where we might want to just wait one more week for the Swiss membership app to be open. Although we could still get people to apply. But if they haven't applied to the trusted, I still kind of think we should just focus on onboarding internally for this next week and really cut our teeth on that. And then once the Swiss membership app is open, then we can be like, okay, first apply the trusted seed, then you're going to go to this thing, you know?
Okay. Jake, I don't know if your bandwidth allows it to onboard more people. I can help you with, and you can just, you don't have to be present if you don't want to, but to like, I don't know how many more people are on the list to be onboarded internally, but then we can take a look at it. And then check if I can take more time or more people for this. I don't know what you think about.
Livia, did you raise your hand or?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I can take someone to onboard from inside. I think that would be a good practice to me.
Yeah, of course. Shall we do it now? Like check the list that you have, Tam, or do you want to do it another time off sync?
I mean, it's up to you. I also wanted to add that it's a short list. You know, we started with 10 people, but we have a big community. So, you know, we're at the tip of the iceberg of that list. So, one, the more people that come on board, the better. And two, if we can do groups of 2 or 3 people, that would be great too.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can do it now. We have time, and there's not much thing else in the agenda, so we can try to do it now and pick a few more names, maybe another 10, and then just assign ourselves.
Cool. I'm looking for the issue. It's an issue in ZenHub right now.
What do I need to do to schedule the onboarding?
Sorry, just give me 1 minute and I will be back.
Are you guys looking into a list somewhere?
Yeah, I'll share my screen right now. Let me just see what the right one is. Here we go. So it's issue 385, and this is the list that Jake and I started with. So I guess we can just add it here for now, and then break this down into smaller issues. Actually, so Olivia. So we can definitely add to this list, and maybe we can divide. You know, Olivia would I'd love to take more CET people because my mornings are so free, but anything after 4 p.m. is just not available for me. So it's really maybe we do it by geographical location. So Juan Carlos, Livia would be great. Craig as well. And I don't know where Jonas is based. Is he based in the US or
He's
EU
based
or South America?
No, he's in Germany.
Yeah, I was kind of quiet. I was listening, but I'd be interested in jumping in something a CET. I'm based in Germany.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Okay. I'll add you to the. Are you part of the Trusted Seed already?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I've just been. This is my first call actually that I joined, so I just sort of wanted to get a better sense of the community.
Cool. Decentralized SDGs. Sorry. So there are definitely some people that we're talking to that aren't part of the Trusted Seed yet because we think that they'd be well aligned with this, and I can certainly add you to that list and see when we can talk to you. That you're here and motivated is a big sign. So I can't promise it'll happen right away, but as soon as it can. Is that work?
Yeah. I just I really just enjoy so much the material that I've read. So just looking.
Oh, cool.
Just a bit more. Yeah.
And if you have any doubts regarding anything, we have the Wednesday call, so you can come and join for AMA questions, doubts, decentralized SDGs. If you have anything, let us know.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. Are you aware of the Wednesday, the new onboarding call for new community members on Wednesdays?
This is what I responded to. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
This was.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. Decentralized SDGs. Was there a specific piece of content that you thought was that pushed you over the edge? That was like, I love these guys. I want in.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. There was just I just really just so much enjoy your approach. I just think it's the essence of what the token economics sort of. This is just my own personal view, but sort of represents in non-potentially often it's just constrained by very DeFi principles, and I just sort of was attracted to that. Plus, I like the academic approach. I thought there was a lot of really good academic thinking, pulling from various disciplines, and which I think also ultimately strengthens output. So I just thought that was cool. There was so much to read.
So just the fact that the content was almost endless made you?
Yeah,
You're
it
like,
was
I can't read it all. I'll just go to
overwhelming.
the
I like to
call.
feel completely lost in like academic intelligence. So I thought that was really a nice, overwhelming experience.
Thanks for the feedback. That's great.
Hey, Tamara, I was
Okay.
thinking because of the time problems, that if maybe some of us Westerners concentrate on that home list. And I was thinking now, like with the C-Stack, like with the Swiss membership dev team, they're almost all CET. You know what I mean? And they're all trusted C. You could reach out to some of them, you know, and then some of us could like tackle the West side. You be the East side, we be the West side.
Yeah, no, I think that's good, actually. Great idea. Maybe Merlin. So Olivia, I have you is that okay? Juan Carlos and Craig to start with? Or is there anybody else that you have in mind that you'd like to onboard? Anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be time zone specific. You can take CET.
I would love to onboard Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, I can take.
Can I do that one with you? Because I also wanted to onboard Dan. Can we do that one
Yes.
together?
Everybody wants Dan. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, and Zep and Sem are done. Oh, it's okay. So
No, nobody's done Zep.
Oh, I thought you did Zep and Sem.
No, Sem was by himself. We still need to do Zep.
I did the soft commitment to Griff, and
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's cool. And as Zep is in every meeting recording everything, he could probably start onboarding other people right now, actually.
Most likely. So how much do we have on the list now? Like how many people? 10? Like yet to be onboarded? Oh yeah, sorry. I was not looking at the transmission.
We have 11 plus 1. Sorry, this is not the most organized way to do this. I wasn't expecting us to do this today, so we can do it in a more organized format. But just for today, let's edit this issue.
Yeah. And then will you add the people that you mentioned, Jake, when you have them?
Well, yeah, I saw her. She started the list right there. She started it right there.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, then that will be fine. Perfect.
Before,
yeah.
I just want to finish. I wasn't quite finished. For Juan Carlos, Jake, can you do that with Livia? Because we were doing it 2 by 2.
Oh yeah, absolutamente.
Muchas gracias.
I'm a little bummed I'm going to miss it, but since we're struggling to find a time, I feel like it'll be much better that way. And then the same with Craig, Jake.
Yeah, no, that'll be just great too, because me and Craig chat just on the side anyway, so it'll be easy for me to pick a time with him.
Okay. Oh, and I see that, Eduardo, we were supposed to onboard Metaverde together. Maybe when you meet with her again, you can loop me in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. All right.
Do you think I can jump in that one? I'm in the same time zone as Metaverde. Oh, and I'm already a trusted seed as far as I know.
Can you guys want to? Can we start the groupings? Does that make sense? Shui, could it be you and Metaverde together?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Cool.
2 on 2 is fun.
Yeah, I would say 2, 3, maybe even 4, if we can do that. Okay, excellent, cool. And maybe I could do the same thing with the Swiss membership devs. Actually, that would be great too. Okay, cool. If we want to add anything, jump into the issue, and it's issue number 385. Jump into the issue and add something in the comments, please.
Perfect. Yes, Livy, sorry.
About onboarding multiple people at once, that maybe that like soft commitment part might be a little bit awkward.
Well, we should just do it. You should just keep it We do the whole thing and then inform them that we will check in personally about their soft commit, and then handle that on a DM side. So it's at the very end when we engage that part of the conversation. I will contact you personally about your soft commit, and then that gives them a little bit of time to think or whatever. But then it's private.
All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks so much, Sam, for today. Cool work and the agenda. So we will leave it at here. Is there something else that someone wants to join or have any doubts or any questions regarding all we talked today?
I know we only have 7 minutes left, but did we talk about any of the project proposals? Anything that is new from last week, or anything? What do we have on our milestone? Or what do we have on our sprint?
Well, I know that Jess reached out to Angela, and she's going to be presenting on Thursday. And then I speak with her again on the 9th about moving forward with that. So, I mean, we definitely should have Balancer CAD, I think. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I heard that from Jess too. And then I will probably submit Akasha Hub this week also. And the 2 other people who reached back, I will schedule with them wildcards and so on this week. So there was no updates besides Angela and these 4 proposals that are in the waiting list with me, because they still need to get back at the date that they want to set up the call to make the proposal. And the Akasha Hub will probably happen this week whenever I sit with Lorenzo to write it down. So that's why, sorry, I didn't make any update regarding the proposals.
I have a couple real quick questions. So somebody's going to contact me about the meeting for the onboarding. That's one, and I'm thinking the answer to that is yes.
That's correct.
Okay, and then we're looking for token engineers. Is that what I heard? Where would I put? So I assume by that we mean Solidity coders.
That question I cannot answer.
Sorry. I mean, so we're going to join.
Oh, sorry, Boo.
No, Solidity coders are not token engineers.
Okay, so what are okay. I'm listening.
Engineers are people who are actually designing economies. They're people who do simulations. They're people who they're like the designers. They're the people who are writing the specifications for the people who are writing Solidity to implement. So, token engineers, Trent McConaughey. Well, there's a whole. Basically, there's a couple people who are actually designing the economy inside of all of these groups.
I understand the difference now. Can you tell me, I know people, but I don't know if they fit your parameters. What are the
Luke is definitely a token engineer.
Well, I don't mean in OneHive. I mean from other projects I've been on in the past. So what would they have to be? Would they have to be using CAD? Could it be somebody who's just interested in designing economies who wants to help with that?
Like, of course, we're relatively radically inclusive on these things. Like people who are interested in token engineering, the most important thing is that they're value aligned with the need to support access to token engineering tools and advance the field of token engineering so it can be a thing, right? We want to make token engineering a thing, a standard. So people who agree with that, hell yes. But then what will really help us have legitimacy is finding these really busy, maybe there's 150 to less than 1,000 for sure, real token engineers, and getting as many of them as possible to actually want to participate.
So there's a fair bit of that goes into some game design.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then this also goes with like sacred economics, which I don't know that much about, but it's something that people have talked to me about. Or is that a different? Okay.
I wouldn't say that sacred economics is necessarily going to get us token engineers.
Oh, okay.
Like Amin from SpankChain, who's doing Rye, he's a token engineer. Ben Schultz, basically anyone who's working for Block Science. We have Jonto from Whaler DAO. We have like Barnaby. He does a 2.0 stuff. Stanley, Martin, Stephen George. These guys. There's basically almost anybody who's has a liquidity mining program that's unique. They are token engineers, right? The Ampleforth guys, those guys are token engineers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just reminded, I went on LinkedIn to add OneHive to my thing, and I just suddenly realized all these contacts that I have over like the last few years that I haven't been tapping into at all. That's where I hope somebody worked out for Santi with the lawyer thing too. Yeah. Okay.
From Block Science, I found that their recent paper on complex systems modeling for community inclusion currencies to be amazing. Highly recommend it.
Can you share the link so we can have it up?
I think it was shared in the economics page.
So are these people?
That's how I found it, actually.
Are these people generally going to be Solidity programmers, or is that completely irrelevant? We have token engineers, and then they pass it on to the programmers. Okay.
In general, that is how it goes. Solidity programmers have different sets of requirements.
Okay, I got it.
It's like architect and construction people. You know, maybe it's not that. Maybe that's a. I'm trying to be extreme.
No, it's not. Yeah, I think I understand. I'm not really sure what sacred economics is, and that's why I threw that out there, because I wasn't sure, and that's something that I'd heard. So okay.
Perfect. We are just on time, so thanks so much, everyone, for joining in, and hope to see you next Wednesday.